And we are live.
We are.
Jenny Winny's got on a hat. She's got on her glasses.
Well,
she's got on a big bracelet.
Oh, this is my Wonder Woman kind of thing. So, oh no, Daniel, you are not frozen. I swear to goodness. No.
Yeah, look at that.
You're frozen.
I like that.
Hey,
I'm back.
I can't believe it. Can you believe this?
No, we can believe it. I actually had Spectrum come.
I know.
Spectrum fixed the problem.
Sure they did.
There will be no more technical issues. So
do not make any sudden moves, okay?
Don't make any sudden moves. I tell you what, that's surprising. I've had no issues since they came out here. It was a kinked cord, right?
Yeah.
And he cut that off and he fixed it. He said, that's definitely the problem. You should be fine. So no issues since then. But I did just bleep out there. So
scared me to death. I'm not going to lie.
But Jenny, if something happens to the average dude, you've got this. You've got the ink blots and you've got two great guests.
I do. I know. But, really, let's be honest, Daniel. The average dude is what everybody comes to see.
Oh, no, that's not true. Oh. But we are glad that we've got two great guests. And if this is your first time, welcome to Jenny Winny and the Average Dude. We do this every Thursday at 11:30. We meet two people. We meet two folks every week. That's going to be the goal. We're going to have two guests every week from here going forward. And we've got a new way of kind of helping you to get to know the guest and for you to be able to participate in the comments like Joe just did.
Yes.
And it's always so much more fun when we have people commenting from the peanut gallery.
And you know what? It's like last week. Come on, everybody. We tried out having the two guests. We love that. We got to be honest. We hope that we're going to be able to, we can talk you two people into being on. But anywho, whatever, doesn't matter.
We shouldn't have to twist too many arms. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I know.
So, Jenny, next week we have, what do we have going on next week?
Well, you and I will be on the annual Allison beach trip.
That's right. Going down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Every year we do it. I'd like to get to know Jenny's hat. What would be the question that you would ask Eric Ryan, America's sweetheart Eric Ryan?
I can envision what Eric's question would be. It is, why? Why do you exist?
No, that's not true.
No, my grandson, he's always like, Effie, they call me Effie. Effie, I really hate that hat. And I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I said, you know what? I'm getting in beach mode.
Yeah.
Daniel and I, for those that don't know, Peyton, Olga, you might not know, we're first cousins. We grew up next door to each other, everything.
The whole bit.
We go to Myrtle Beach. Well, we used to go to the, when it was the Hatton Pavilion, and
go cruising.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Now,
yes.
We go to the softer, milder side, rent a house and throw all of our family together.
Yeah. Now, do you like doing that, Jenny? You like to be all in one house like we're doing now?
I do.
I won't tell anybody else in the family. I'm sure they're not watching.
I'm sure mom and them aren't watching this. Well, mom's not. Your mom is. I love being with everybody. Actually, I do. I like us all being in one house.
I do too. That makes it.
It makes me feel protected from nobody's going to jump on me because there's so many in the house.
That's right. I gotcha. Yeah, it kind of levels the playing field.
Eric said he doesn't like my hat. Let's just say that, okay? And I'm not even going to put up his comment because I think he's not even telling the truth about it. So let's just go.
Well, Jenny, I think that we've got two great guests. What I want to do, I'm going to introduce each of these folks. We're going to get to know each of them. We're going to all be on here at one time. Eric, you cannot come to the beach. I saw that comment out of the side of my
I'll bring a dumb hat.
Yeah.
Eric, you just come with your hair. Your hair wouldn't fit in this hat, okay?
So I'm going to go ahead and introduce guest number one. And Jenny, if you could go ahead and bring her up. I can't get to her because
that's fine.
Yeah, so I'm going to introduce Olga Gadana is her name.
Not Gadana. It's It's
Not-
Gadon.
Gadon.
Gadon? Is that right?
I'll make it easier for you. It is Gay Donna.
Gadon.
Gaydonna.
Okay.
That's right.
Daniel, you were closer.
Yeah. So that's because I actually went to her LinkedIn profile last night and I watched as much content Olga's put out there as possible. And I love your content. It's fantastic.
You're stalking me.
I'm stalking you.
He was.
Yes, I am. And I'm learning a lot because you talk
Uh-oh.
We all
about
can do that.
some interesting
We all
things.
can go, ooh, Daniel, you glitched.
Yeah, well, I apologize, folks. It seems that Spectrum said they were going to fix my internet, and it didn't happen, Olga. So,
Wait a
uh-oh.
minute. Olga just fell. He was so
you're
scared.
free. I drop. We'll do
She was
everything
so
today.
afraid right then that you were gone, that she passed out.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I apologize for the technical issues. That's really kind of frustrating, but it's all good.
It's all
So
good.
I wanted to talk about some of the things that you talk about, Olga, which I noticed you did. Of course, you talk a lot about relationships.
Yes. Yes.
And
Oh.
And you
Let's
talk
just
a lot
all
about
freeze.
communication.
relationships. See, I'll regurgitate it. Relationships and communication. And where's he going with that? Wow, that is sad. Well, I'll tell you what. This is what we're going to do, Olga, until he comes. Olga.
No, that's me. I think we both today are glitching. He's freezing and my phone just dropped. Sorry about
I like
that.
this. So now we're going to have the Jenny Winny, and then I'm going to bring on Peyton. Okay. So, Daniel, I don't know if you're with us or not, but Olga, if you'll just kind of tell us, though, I did also go in and was watching, but tell us like what you do. You know, you are about relationships. And so just give us a little like background.
Okay, so what do? In one word, I change people's lives.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
First
It
of
says it
all,
all.
okay,
I change
tell us
people's lives to.
Where are you?
Yeah.
Where are you from? What's the accent?
So it is a mixture. Originally, I came from Latvia, and then I lived in the UK for nearly 15 years now, actually. But then I actually, through my coaching, work with a lot of American Canadian people. So some people say they really struggle to pick up my accent because it has a little bit of American, a little bit of Australian, because I go to Australia quite often virtually as well. And people really can't figure out what is my accent coming from. And honestly, even I don't know where is my accent from anymore. It's a mixture. It's a global accent.
So is mine. I have no idea where my accent's coming from.
Right.
But anyway, you say you change people's lives. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about that. Like in what ways? What tools do you use?
So the most important tool which I do on a daily basis is coaching. So I help people to really transform themselves through coaching. However, I have multiple programs where people come to for specific things. For example, couples come to me to transform their relationships. Again, it's all about changing lives. Other people come to me because they went through infidelity issues in their relationships. Again, it's about changing their life through my infidelity course, which helps them to heal and recover from infidelity trauma. Other people come to me because they want to be better leaders at work as well as at home. So again, it's about transforming people's lives, but helping them to become better leaders. Even when it comes to public speaking courses, which I also run for people, or even public speaking coaching, which I also do, still I help people to transform then other people's lives by making them impactful and powerful speakers. So through my whole entire work, it's all about transforming people's lives, whether it is my courses or coaching or professional speaking. All the time, it's all about transforming people's lives. And honestly, I cannot do enough.
You touched on a little bit of everything because it's not just business. I mean, infidelity. I mean, it's the whole gambit, you know. So, well, hello, average dude. Welcome.
Hey, I fixed it. I don't need Spectrum. I'm back. So, yeah. So hopefully this works. And I have a feeling, I know, again, I watched a lot of Olga's content last night, and I think you introduced some difficult topics, but I think topics that are probably pretty important to people when we talk about relationships. Obviously, those are not the easiest things in the world, but staying happy at home means you're happy at work. And if you're happy at work, then you're probably going to perform better and have a more satisfying life. So give me from your experience, give me someone that you've worked with in the relationship space. Although I know your relationship kind of turned around with you and your partner, right? But give me one example of a case study, someone you've worked with, maybe helped them with their communication, helped them with the relationship. What was the issue and what was the end game?
And before you answer that, I just want to say, when you said like the infidelity, like you take with, I mean, very rarely do you hear about that being the counseling. I mean, I know that they may seek counseling. Very rarely do people get past that. I mean, I would love if you took a study of that, and incorporate what Daniel's saying. It's like, how do you turn that around?
That is a great idea. Really great idea, Jenny. Thank you for that. I'll make a note of that for sure. For one day when I will have more time, right? It's like one day, we have a long list for one day, all of us for sure, right? But answering the first question about, the examples, I'll start there, because about infidelity, there are plenty of them. But let's start with something more positive. I remember one couple came to me because they were on the verge of divorce for the second time. Okay, for the second time. So they were married before, they got divorced, they raised children, they divorced from their new partners, they got together again, they got married, and they came to see me because they were just about to get divorced again.
Oh,
right? No. I know. And I remember it was a long time ago, pre-COVID, when I still had my office. People used to sit in front of me back then. I remember they're sitting in front of me, and the lady just says, I just don't understand why he cannot tell me he loves me. I don't understand. And he's sitting there and he's saying, yeah, but I take care of you. I provide. You have everything.
That's his love.
Don't you know I love you? And she's like, see, he never tells me he loves me. And what I've done there was, I said to the lady, you look so beautiful today. I love your jacket. She's like, oh, and she just bloomed in the moment. You could just see that it's almost like the earth shattered for her. It was just like something transformation. She's like, oh, thank you. That means a lot. And I turned around to him and I asked him, what does it cost you to give her compliments? What does it cost you to tell her how much you love her? And he's like, yeah, but it's obvious. I take care of her. And he's on and on. And I said, listen, her love language is simply words of affirmations.
Yes.
He's like, what? This couple had no clue that there is such a thing as 5 love languages.
Yes.
And with introduction of 5 love languages, their marriage transformed.
Yeah. That is my son and his wife. They preach that. Because, they really do. I mean, now they're about to turn 27. They've only been married a couple of years, but it's true. Some are words of affirmation. Some are like, I am one of those that I like to do for someone. I can't remember what that's called. It's like
active service.
That's right. I like to do that. That's let me do for you. Let me do for you. So, oh, wow. Okay. And did they get it? Did your couple get it?
Absolutely. Obviously, it took me some time to explain them and for them to practice that. We had a couple of more sessions, but you could see the progression. There was a huge progression between where they were and where they were coming to within even 3 sessions. Remember, we had 1 week after another because they were practicing, they were implementing those love languages in their everyday actions. And what's really interesting for him, it was act of service, just like yours.
Yes.
So, of course, what he was doing, he was taking care of her in his own love language, right? And he did not feel lack of love because she was taking care of him.
Yes.
But he couldn't understand what she means by I don't feel loved because
when it's like he's showing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So that's one of the great examples where actually you can just make a little subtle difference and you don't have to divorce for the second time.
Yeah.
Hey, great save, Olga. Great save. And I'm sure you've got a lot more stories, a lot more things we're going to talk to you about. But first, we want to introduce our second guest.
Yes.
And his name is Peyton
Hoppus. Hoppus.
Hops. I'm going to call him Peyton Hops because that's what I've called him. I know this guy. Peyton,
Yeah, and
how's
he's
it going?
never corrected you. It's Hoppus, right? Correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
call him by
It's
his
okay to say
F3
Jenny.
name. I call him by his F3 name. Would you share that, Peyton?
Yeah. It's Pom Pom, but Jenny can be right for this one. It's okay.
Thank you.
Oh, Peyton, thanks for joining the show. So Peyton Hops, a financial advisor here in town.
Yep. Here in Spartanburg. Yep.
And I've been watching some of your content and that whole idea, that the financial services industry kind of stuffy sometimes, right, Peyton?
Yep. Pretty. Yep.
And
Yes.
so what I've noticed you doing out of the box, that's kind of your kind of, as you start to kind of market yourself, tell us, what does out of the box mean as far as financial services and who you are as a person?
Daniel, that's the exact question I was thinking. What does out of the box mean?
Hey,
as
two great minds,
we're wearing the
two great
same
minds
hat.
right here. Yeah.
And Olga, you can also feel free to chime in. This is an open discussion. So, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all good. No, I kind of approach life and problem solving kind of outside the box for everything. And I can give some examples of that. But and so looking for a firm to join, you got to look for a firm that kind of offers more than just the stuffy average stuff. So I found a firm, Parallel Financial. We're out of Greenville, but we have a Spartanburg office, me and another advisor, and there's a lot of really fun things we could do with business owners, kind of who we primarily work with.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, small
Yeah,
businesses.
small
Yes.
business owners, and that's who I'm focusing on. But with that, outside the box, really just it blooms out of the opportunity to do things a little differently. Don't just stick to what the first thing you Google, which is usually not a bad thing, but there's always a better opportunity. Like, I'll give you an example. So here's kind of outside the box. So somebody says, hey, I've done really bad the past 2 years. I've saved up a bunch of cash, right? Put a number on it, whatever you want. And I would say, well, I don't really think you've done bad. I just don't think you've done the best, right? Like, there's a better option than just sitting a bunch of cash on the sidelines. Mm-hmm. So that would be a way of saying, like, well, thinking outside the box is categorizing that a little differently, saying it's good. It's just we could do better with it. And then what you do with it is kind of where outside the box comes from. So trying out a little branding. I'm not great at it. It's a marketing thing. And I got 1,000 other hats I wear. And so that's just one of them. So just trying to make it a little different.
You dive into that also with the financial, you go into the marketing part of it also?
For myself, I mean, I'm technically a business owner, right? So I have my own clients, my own relationships. And so through that, I have to wear 5 or 6 hats any given day. And so I do my own marketing. That might be a good or bad thing to say. I'm not sure yet, but I do my own marketing. Yeah, just trying it out, trying to figure it out.
You were like financial for small business owners, and I'm like, that's me. I'm a small business owner here in Spartanburg. And it's like, but I get it. That's like, I can do it. I can do my own marketing. We might know that September 15th is tomorrow. Corporate taxes are due. If you did an extension, that would be me.
Yeah. But that outside of the box, I think that's important, because things like financial, the money habits that we learn from our parents may be good, may not be good, right? And so thinking outside of the box is just what I know doesn't necessarily mean it's the only thing. Just looking at alternatives and maybe more creative ways, different ways of doing things is never a bad idea, is it, Peyton?
Yeah, no, that's right. I mean, I think we inherit from our marriage, from relationships to finance. We inherit from our parents what we saw, or grandparents, whoever kind of influenced us. And so if your dad was really big on gold and silver, you're probably somewhat big on gold and silver. And maybe for a 35, 45-year-old, that's not ideal. And so, everybody's kind of got their thing they're going to stick to. And then we got to break that mold, think differently. How do we achieve the same goal that you have? The goals don't change, with a different avenue that might be better, right? Different investment strategy, different.
Because it's like, as well, you said 35, 45, 49, but it's like, back when COVID started, and, it's like, I've always bounced things off of my dad. Okay. And then, so I did, and I had a great idea, and I said, he's like, and I hope he's not listening, but anyway, he said, hey, Jenny, why don't you just go ahead and just take your money, stick it in the road, and set it on fire? That'd be about the same. But if I had listened to myself, wow, it would have been, you know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes it's like even though it's like I'm almost 50, I still revert back to asking mom, dad, what do you think? What do you think?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And it's like sometimes you have to step out of the box and kind of go with a new gut feeling, you know.
Mhm. Exactly. That's right.
And thinking about too, just the two guests that we have, we always find this kind of overlap.
Mhm.
What's the number one reason that relationships go south? I say number one reason, but Olga's doing
She knows
the Johnny Manziel kind of, it's the money, right?
it
And
is.
so we get the money right. And I know you work with small businesses, but really the truth is, on a personal level, the way that we take care of our finances, if we can get along with the finances, we can get along pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Olga, what do you have to say about
Olga,
that?
is that really like a big peeve, a contention with couples is money?
It is, because when you think about it, it's not only about money as a subject, but it could be one partner could be totally angry and annoyed another partner being super spender or super saver. So they
Yes.
might not have money issue. It doesn't have to be money issue, but it could be the fact that one is very extreme and another one is something else extreme. Or it could be a case of couple facing a trouble. It could be anything. Could be infidelity, could be alcohol, could be drug addiction, could be whatever. And they don't have money for coaching and therapy.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
again,
yeah.
even though the issue is not the money, but money will help to resolve that issue.
Yeah.
Right? Simple as that. So whether you look at it straight or around, it is always coming back to money. For example, even in our relationship, if we wouldn't have money to pay for 11 professionals with whom me and my husband worked, and we did more than 300 plus hours, we wouldn't be where we are now.
Right. And I'm not, you see a lot of couples who maybe one will say, let's get a coach, let's go to therapy. And the other one says, what a waste of money. I don't
Yes.
need them to tell me. Yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes, absolutely. And the truth is, just like nobody learns from a relationship school about relationship,
Right.
nobody knows about money mindset and money management from a money school, because they don't exist.
Right.
So people get together not knowing anything about these two most important topics, and then they really pretend they will figure it out on their own.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is not possible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll say that there's probably a big piece of that also from the way your family was raised, the way their family was raised, and then you bring it together, and the habits may not be bad, but
Right.
then like somebody's out of whack always, right? One
Uh-huh.
person's a little extreme compared to the other, and so that's I use the third brain analogy. It's like I'm like a third brain in this equation here.
Yeah.
You two have issues or whatever. I'm not going to be a marital. I mean, I'll send them to Olga. I'm not the marriage counselor. I'll help you with the money, but like I'm not going to get into why you should or shouldn't be buying what. I don't want to dive into all the nuances, but it's just trying to bring everybody on the same page. I mean, Olga's doing a piece of that. I'm doing a piece of that. Just trying to get everybody on the same page with the
That's
same
true.
goal.
That is so true, Peyton, because you're right. It's like, we'll come and it's like, well, your dad is this, I can't believe he told you to do that, and you do have to kind of hone it in, because I would say that my husband and I, we get on the same page, but I'm one of these that's like, I got to go in there and pay off that credit card every week. He's like, why can't we pay it when it's due? And I'm like, because I don't want the debt, and that's extreme. That's extreme. I know, but
Yeah, there's something wrong there, something psychologically.
yeah. Olga, I'll be calling you later. Okay?
Sure.
Yeah, well, good. So what we want to do, so I don't know if y'all had a chance to see the last show. That was probably the last time that we did this, but we're going to do something that is intended to generate kind of organic conversation. And so if you've ever seen the ink blot test, right, where the psychologist will give you an image and you say what you see, right?
Like,
Where does your mind go?
Yeah.
So, Jenny, I hope you've got some good ink blots for us.
I do. Before we start, though, I'm going to bring up Joe's comment real quick, because Joe always has something good.
Yeah.
With relationships, personally and professionally, is it not important to compromise but not give up our best traits? With true love, not necessarily intimacy, but helping the other with no conditions. Joe is just, he's as
Heart of gold, Joe.
Yes. Okay, y'all. Wait a minute. I learned something from another podcast, and I was asking her how I could get rid of this accent. And she's like, if you held like a pen in between your and your lips and then enunciate.
Oh my gosh.
So for the entire show, I'm going to be like this.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. All right. Give me 1 second here, and here we go. Well, I'm just going to pick one randomly. Here we go.
Okay, so I will talk about what we have here, and then we're going to talk to Olga and Peyton, and they can kind of describe where their mind goes. So it looks like we're on the playground. Looks like we have two captains. Looks like they're getting ready to play a game of some
sort.
type.
Yeah.
So I guess where does y'all's mind go when you think about that whole scenario? Right, you're on the playground. You're picking teams. You've got captains. Do y'all feel anything when you see something like that? Let me ask you this, Peyton, were you the first person picked? Were you the last person picked, or were you the captain?
I mean, depends, I guess, on which sport. When I first saw this, I thought this was like a shot from like The Office, just because of like the way I don't know why. My brain. I just thought of the episode Scott's Tots.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what we're looking for, man. That was an awesome episode.
That's exactly what we're looking for. That's where your mind went with it.
Yeah, that's right. It does look kind of staged. And that's why I kind of wanted to describe this one. So it kind of because. How about you, Olga? What do you see when you see this picture? Where did your mind go? What do you think of?
So my mind here goes, I hope the coach is telling everybody that it's all about winning mindset. We got this, guys. Remember, it's all about winning over yourself, not others. We're going to get it. So how and what we can tell ourselves in order to win. This is where my mind straight away goes.
Oh, no, Mason, you took me somewhere else there. I've got to talk a little bit quickly. Y'all may know something about this, but I love that little.
Oh, leaving us hanging.
He loves it too.
We can just hang it ourselves.
He's like, I love that look. I'll tell you where my mind went. Honestly, is that feeling of
love.
Oh, Daniel, he's back.
I'm so sorry, y'all. Y'all don't know how frustrating that is. But,
I know.
But what I would say is where I was going with that is Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes. When you were giving that little pep talk, I think he's an incredible motivator. When I hear him talk, I'm ready to play. And it's all mindset. And so I just wanted to kind of get y'all's thoughts on what he's doing. Some people hate him. Some people love him. I think it's going to make the college football season interesting to watch. Peyton, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. He's shaking a lot of trees. He's thinking outside the box. He's approaching it very differently. So I'm all in. I'm big on Deion. Love it.
Yeah. How about you, Olga? Now I know you're in the UK. Do you keep up with football at all?
She said,
I have no clue what you're talking about, guys. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay. Hey, what I will say is what you said. The way that you would hope that what the coach was saying to those folks, that's what made me think of this coach that does football, right? He's really learned how to tap into what motivates people and himself.
Well, and what Olga said, see, because initially when I see this, I think, please don't choose me last. Please don't let me be last. Please, that social anxiety that Daniel and I have talked about, please I want to be accepted. But what you said, Olga, immediately took me to Ted Lasso. Because that's the kind of coach that he is on that show. You just need to watch it, okay? And I mean, but really, and it's all about, hey, have fun, get out there, let's have the best mindset we can. So
absolutely.
Anywho.
All right, next ink block.
All right, here we go. I've got one. Let's see here. Boop. Both of y'all's faces.
I'm like, I'm on it. I'm going. Let's go. That's me.
No, Olga.
Yes, let's go.
Oh, you're like, let's go on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you love the thrill rides. Those don't scare you at all?
Yes, and put the hands up and let them float around, of course, and scream your lungs out and let it all go out. Seriously, I'm all full on there. Give 100% so you just enjoy yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Peyton?
Yeah, I love it. I was thinking of Carowinds,
Mhm.
riding with I can remember we went in college, went to Disney World a few times. So kind of backstory, and then it'll make sense on this. My F3 name's Pom Pom because I was a male cheerleader in college, and so I cheered at Clemson, and so we got to go to the ACC championship, the national championship. There's a couple games that we got to cheer, and so we went to Disney a couple times during my career, and we got to ride those rides. So me and all the guys would get on, and we'd see how many we could ride because we got early passes because we had to be
Uh-huh.
there at
Oh, that's
like 6.
cool.
So we would. I love them. I love roller coasters. I'm thinking now it's changing, right? Life's changing. I got
Uh-huh.
kids. I'm like, all right, my daughter's 3. When she's like 7 or 8, I can't wait to start doing this with her. So I'm pretty pumped for them. That's
Uh-huh.
kind of why my eyes went up. I'm excited.
Well,
Yeah.
no, yeah, absolutely. So let me go back to those Clemson days. You were a cheerleader. Was it just the cheerleading squad, or was it the football team, or who all was there at that event?
Yeah. So I was on the co-ed team, and we went to every football game, home and away. Not everybody on the team. Usually it's a rotation away, but at home at least. And then for like a national championship, ACC championship, we'd go usually they're in Florida or it's in like Charlotte or Atlanta. So we do something like this. And so for a couple of those playoff games, we got to go to Disney World, and we'd be in a parade or whatever. And my senior year I was captain, so I've kind of been on the low end of the totem pole and worked my way up to the top. And so we got
Oh, that's cool, man.
yeah.
I mean, that would have been a great experience. You probably got to meet Dabo Sweeney at some point.
Yep.
And of course a great program and a great tradition that Dabo's building. So that would have been a lot of fun to be a part of that. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And Dabo, Olga, is the coach of Clemson. It's a college football team here, and he is exactly what you were just talking about with picking the kids. He is. I mean, he just seems like such a good person. Like he's about the student, really he is. To me, he is. And I don't want anybody to say differently.
All right. Give us another one, Jenny.
Okay, here you go. Let's see. And it's funny because now I'm thinking that maybe this one Peyton might have something to say about it, but I don't know. Let's see.
Oh.
But you know what? I didn't think, Olga. I wasn't thinking correctly with this one because this might not have any effect on you. Let's just put like I don't know. So
Peyton, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you see this? It's Internal Revenue Service. That's who controls the taxes, I guess is the way to say it, Olga.
And
what
you
I thought, yes. Yeah. My
this.
first reaction was, I wonder if it is about taxes over your end or somewhere else. And I was like, okay, it's called differently. It was just like, yeah, we called HMRC.
Okay.
I know what it stands for. Don't even ask me. But I was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. Of course, you have system, which we have here, but obviously it's called different. I was like, oh, that's how it's called that. I had no clue. I was like,
What is yours called
making my
again?
notes here.
What is it called again? Yours?
HMRC.
Okay. So pretend that this is a paper with that as the logo and it's just come in the mail. Proceed.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Peyton. Is that something that, why do people get so stressed out when they see something from the IRS? What's going on there? Why do we have so much consternation around taxes and that sort of thing? I mean, you're dealing with this all the time, right?
Yeah, I mean, more or less the accountant's dealing with the IRS, but we have obviously a lot of conversation around this. I mean, it can be controversial depending on how you want to view it, if they should be taxing us at what they tax us. But outside of that conversation, usually people are concerned about getting audited, and realistically, you either randomly audited, which is less than 5%. Usually it's a really low number that's just randomly picked, or they're trying to target people that are doing, X, Y, and Z things within their business, or they're claiming all these deductions on their tax returns. And usually when they fall into a classification letters. So like working with business owners, their biggest concern is like, okay, we want to be compliant, not get these letters. So we don't deal with it a lot. Again, usually that's the CPA dealing with the headache of having to deal with the agent. But for us, we don't put our client in anything that would trigger a red flag. So,
But hey, let's just say though, you just go home. It's Friday afternoon. You open your mailbox. It's Mr. Peyton Hoppus.
Yeah.
Now, what does that do? Does it bring up any feeling for you? Does just seeing this bring up any thing or?
Yeah, he's got his money under control.
You say Barry?
I mean,
Barry. Daniel.
Well,
No,
more,
I
I think
just assume that he's probably. I would. I mean, for me, I know that I pay my taxes. I know, there would really be no reason for me to get stressed out. But now I can see how somebody that would get that could be, right?
yeah, I would not be too stressed. I would be more curious on what they found, because nothing's illegal. You do it all by the book or do it all by what they're allowing. And
Right.
if they want to have questions, they can ask questions. I would have to have a reason for everything. So I would hope I have a good enough reason if there's something on the other side of that requests my attention that I can validate. And the way I'm not lying, but I did it by what you said I could. So what's the issue? So we'll see.
I like that.
It's interesting because what comes to me straight away, a story which actually just literally we recently had this conversation with my son. We were brainstorming how he could faster buy a land and build a house on it at the age of 17. So really nice goal, I think, at that age, right?
Yeah.
And we just brainstorm what he could do. He's right now studying in the college to become auto mechanic because he wants to tune cars and do some fancy stuff with that. And obviously to get a job as auto mechanic and buy a lot and build a house will take forever, like 3 lifetimes, right? Yeah. So it's about, okay, how can we get you there faster? And we're thinking about creative ways. Maybe he could do courses for auto mechanics. Maybe he can create some, manuals, whatever. So we're brainstorming. At the end of it, what was interesting, my son said this, but Mom, if I'll earn all that money, I'll have to pay taxes and a lot of taxes. And I said to him, but that's good because you will never pay a lot of taxes if you haven't made a lot of money. So paying more taxes means only one thing. You made a hell of a lot of money.
Yes.
But still, there was so much fear. And I realized that, including myself, of course, for years, what you do, you fear taxes.
You do.
Because government puts you in fear. Instead of telling you, hey, it's okay to pay taxes, it's great to pay taxes because it means you're earning money, right? And the more taxes you pay, and I mean, not in terms of you have to pay half of your salary, but in terms of you made $1 million and you paid obviously heavier tax than if you made 1,000, right? But it means you made money. It's about celebrating more money. But instead, the whole world is in fear because now it's about taxes. And that is really strange. So this would actually kind of took me back to that conversation with
I am so glad you said that because it's so true. I don't care. I mean, I'm not, like Daniel said, Peyton said, you haven't done anything wrong or whatever. It's just instant fear. It's instant fear seeing that. And it
takes me back. We had an ink blot that we did last week. Remember when you see blue lights in the rearview mirror, right?
Yep.
You're going to be pulled over by a cop, and you're like, okay, I don't think I'm doing anything wrong, but just
what did I do?
Yeah. So that does definitely moves the needle on the anxiety up just a hair. So, all right, give me another one.
That's Uno, right? Take 4.
I didn't know what that was, by the way. Let me just say, I have no clue what that was.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I really thought you did because we played this when we were young.
My question is, can you play a draw 4 on top of another draw 4? Is that allowed?
I don't know. That is the controversy. I don't know.
Oh man, see, I didn't even know the controversy. Olga, do you know what this game is?
So I learned about this game only last year when, I know. Yeah, only last year in February.
I need your address, Olga.
I'm going to this year in February because I took my husband to Tenerife for celebrate his birthday. And we went for a retreat. And then later on, next week, my son came to spend some time with us. And he brought these cards. And he was like, shall we play Uno? And I was like, what is Uno? It took me ages to learn. I got to say Uno when I have only one card. The amount of cards I was taking was ridiculous.
Yes.
I kept losing.
Yes. This made I used to hate this card so much because as you put down that last card, I'm like, Uno. And then they're like, draw 4. And
yeah, exactly.
And then
now, do y'all like card games in general? I mean, do y'all like playing card games or Monopoly board games and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With the right group, they're a lot of fun. I like more of the interactive kind of maybe charades or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
And
Olga, I know you did some couples.
couples Uno. They play couples Uno. I'm just having
We
But,
lost
you
him
know,
again.
You-
Yeah.
Joe clarified that for you, Peyton.
Yeah, I think the common law is that you can apply 4-on-4. I think if you go ask Uno, I think in the rule books they say no, but I think that's been lost in
Yeah,
translation.
but
So
that's like one of the best moves in the end of a game when
it
you're like,
is.
draw 4. And then we're like, draw 4 again. And you're like, you're back in. Hey, you know, I so feel that. Sorry,
That's
Daniel.
it.
You
That's
left us.
I know. I've got all these things on my mind, and as soon as I start talking, the internet decides to clip out. So
It's like it's censoring you, like it
it
knows.
is. It's censoring me. So,
knows.
but I was asking Olga on some of these retreats and things that you do with couples, as far as like entertainment, is board games and that sort of thing something that y'all do?
So not the board games, but more as a teamwork activities, something for them to forget about egos, to forget about who is right, who is wrong, but something for team building within themselves. Because again, it is about to learn how can you be as a team rather competitors. It's crucial. It really is crucial. I think playing games, whatever games there are, I mean, apart from if it is shooting online, like all these computer games. But I think these type of games, cards or Monopoly, whatever, it's great because you expand your thinking, you become as a team, and you really, obviously, unless you're competing, but you still learn something. So I think it's a great way how to actually expand your thinking. And for couples, it is crucial. I wish more couples would just play games versus watching movies, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
That's true. And the thing is that what do you think, like, with children and stuff, like letting them win? I don't feel like you should let the kids. I mean, if there's time,
No mercy. No mercy. They got to learn.
Peyton, yours is 3. Okay, you got to
learn.
You're
You're gonna have to learn. Go fish. You got to learn.
Yeah. Don't give it away.
Wait a minute, Peyton. He likes card games. He said, "Go fish. You got to learn."
You got to learn.
Sorry.
I don't know. I kind of let the kids win. I also do that with adults sometimes too. But
Well, that's okay. You can do that.
Well, I think when it comes to casino, I think the casino got it right. Whenever you go and you play for the first time, they'll let you win.
Oh, yeah.
Why? Because it hooks you.
It's that false. It's a false sense of confidence that, hey.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think when we allow children at least to win the very first game, it allows them to start liking that game and want to win more. But when you play with them for the first time, they don't know the rules and they have no clue how to play and they lose, you're going to put them off winning or even playing this game in the future. So I think it's about using the same because, it's all about psychology, right? Why do the casino use that? Because they want to hook you. They want to hook you. They want you there. But we can do the same with children. Hook them to compete, hook them to want to win, hook them to really strive for something rather just say like, I'm not going to play because I'm not going to lose. That's it. You just build ambition.
Yeah, because if you punch him immediately, go ahead.
I'll say this: my stepbrother, he is 17 or 18 now. So but when he was probably like 14, he was playing Xbox and he was playing football, Madden, or in the NCAA games or baseball or basketball, whatever it was. And so he was like, "Do you want to play?" I was like, "Typically, I don't care to play those on a video game, but I was like, sure, we'll play." And he would talk so much trash if he would win, and I was like, "All right, well, that's the last time you do that." So I smoked him one time, and he just got up and turned the game. Like we didn't finish the game, he just got up and turned the Xbox off. And I was like, "You can't talk trash. You can win all you want, but since you talk trash, it's over."
Man, that took me back hearing that story right there. We used to have some like Madden football. We would talk so much junk. It got so competitive. We would have groups and come and play. Those were fun times. I enjoyed that, but I'm glad you talked trash. I'm glad you got him so mad he had to quit early. So that's funny.
Oh, that's awesome.
What it takes.
Yep.
All right, y'all.
Too many calories. Unhealthy. That's what the first comes
but
to
they
me.
taste so good.
I know, but it makes me. I don't even like really roasting marshmallows. It just takes me back to that family time that we used to do around the fire as kids.
S'mores on vacation at the lake, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Those were some of the best times.
On vacation, calorie doesn't count. So you can do whatever you want on vacation.
Yeah.
Calories don't exist.
Sure, unless you're back home and then you have to really work to drop them then, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, actually, Olga and Peyton, you're right, Peyton, but it's if you tear open the marshmallow, they fall out. So that's what I always do. It's like, okay,
There it is.
they're gone.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
I need
Sure.
to try that. I need to try that.
We had ink blots and we did have like, so are you both people that watch movies?
I like movies, yeah.
I mean, so I did a few movie scenes that might have been something you've seen that provoke, and not that it's like something that you have to say, oh, I know that movie, but just maybe what feeling it should be. I hope it's movies that you've all seen. If it's
Okay.
not, we'll just go.
Give us an example. If we missed, then we're not mad at you.
I've seen it. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie, but I've seen it.
Tombstone.
Tombstone. Yes, I knew all the Wyatt Earp, all that. I was going through.
Yeah, okay, Olga, I'm just telling you, I'm sending you a box of Uno cards. You're gonna get Tombstone on VHS. Okay. But
Okay, send me the list. Send me the list of all of them.
yes. Even Daniel, you've watched, right? Correct?
I've watched it, but I'm not familiar enough with it for it to trigger. Like, I don't remember this scene or exactly what's happening here.
Okay, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown because this is when he comes out and he's like, I'm your Huckleberry. And the guy knows I'm dying. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine. We shall move on. Okay, wait a minute, but we also have to throw this up. Greatest American film behind Billy Madison.
I would agree.
You would agree? All right.
Titanic.
I think this is the only movie which I watched more often than Matrix.
Ooh. Olga, you said Matrix. Good. I forgot about Matrix. Very good. Yeah.
Oh, so you love this one, Olga?
I love this one. It's very romantic.
Yeah, you love the romantic movies. That makes sense now. That jives. So, what was so great? What was the thing about this movie that made it so great? I have some ideas in my mind, but I watched something on that not too long ago.
I had to say something, Daniel.
Okay.
What I think was great about this movie is when actually Kate, whatever her name was in the movie, I can't remember, but she played the girl who actually made a choice of not going after what she was supposed to do, but she chose to do what she wanted to do. And that was like, yeah, that's great. And she was happy for those hours, those days, those minutes. But surely when that person is dying, they're thinking, at least I was happy.
Yeah.
At least I was happy, because she was supposed to do something totally opposite, but she chose herself.
Yep.
And that was beautiful.
Well, and she chose herself too. She could have made her family happy and married the person that would have made her family happy and kind of the same social status and all of those sorts of things. So she went with the person that stole her heart, at least in the movie.
Yeah. But also ironically, when you look at it in the end, how would it have been for her if she'd have chosen that? He lost all his money, the guy that was, the rich fella, and he, so it would have not been good anyway, but she her heart.
Because the truth is, when you go against your heart, when you go against your intuition, you go wrong anyways. And it doesn't make you happy in any case.
Yeah.
So you got to go with your intuition. You got to go with your heart, because then you feel happy and fulfilled.
I agree. Yeah. If you've got that question, Peyton, what does it make you think of?
I mean, I just think there was room at the end of the movie for Jack to get on the raft. That's
okay.
all about.
Yes, Peyton, there was. I'm like, come on, scoot over.
Listen, the rest of it could have been somewhat true. I know that was Hollywood, but I think that's what makes the movie great, is it was true, and then it leaves a little controversy at the end. Everybody wants to they want to get justice for Jack. That's all.
But when I see
what an interest, they were so into the movie. They did such a great job at really getting interested and all the detail with the Titanic, which is just an interesting situation to begin with, right? I mean, that is would have been a really incredible situation. But then you've got all the drama within that, and it's just unbelievable that they pulled it together. Jenny?
I just have something I want to say.
Yeah.
That the feeling, though, not the movie for this. This takes me back, though, because you know, it came out right after I'd had my first child, and he was born in 96. And literally it takes me to thinking about how emotional I got seeing those babies in the mom's arms you know what I mean? Because at that moment I had that baby, and I thought, man, that always, when I think of Titanic, that's where I go, is my son who's about to turn 27.
Yeah. And the guys playing on the Titanic, they continue to play the music. When that part I hit, man, what's going through those guys' minds? Hey, we're probably going to die anyway. Let's do what our job is, keep everybody calm, and played to the very end.
That makes me think of Steve Harvey, because he's like, I don't know what they're thinking. He said, if I'd have been out there playing with my friends, we'd have been unplugging everything, rolling it up. We're getting on the boat.
Trying to get on a boat.
He's like, ain't nobody playing.
But it's 12:20 now. If either one of you guys needs to jump off, let us know. But we're going to carry it to 12:30 with a few more ink blots here.
Yeah.
So
okay, here we go.
Good with that.
I'll definitely have to jump off, but can I just say, isn't it fascinating how all of us have 4 different memories, regardless what comes on? And that's exactly how we all enter relationships. We have different triggers, we have different memories, and one event, whatever actions you do, could mean something for one person and something else for another. And then we wonder, why when I say something that way, you get triggered? Why when I do this way, you get triggered? Why? I remember one guy said, when my wife points finger at me, I just blow up and I just start throwing trash around me because it triggered him. So it's really fascinating. Thank you so much.
That is awesome, Olga.
I think it's a really great way to see how we all have different memories based on our own different upbringings, experiences, and all that. But I'll have to jump off now, unfortunately. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for having me today here. It was a great pleasure.
Wonderful.
Okay, great. Have a great rest of the day.
Thank you so much. You take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.
Okay, and then there were 3. Peyton, are you up to the challenge?
I mean, I don't know what this could make you think of, Peyton. I mean, it's just a random picture.
Well, see, we didn't know if we were going to say anything about what you had done or not, but obviously we're here. Give us a memory of something that happened. Did somebody fall? Did you have any particular game that stood out in your career?
Oh gosh, yeah, I'm sure plenty. That's
For teamwork, I think of too. The teamwork that y'all have to be on it to really coordinate, and yeah.
Well, no, you guys bring it up. It's part of my story. I don't mind sharing it. It's part of why I'm here. I mean, that kind of molded part of what industry I'm in and what I do for a living. But I met my wife on the cheerleading squad, so we were stunt partners our last year, and we got married after we graduated. So I mean, gave me a wife, gave me 2 beautiful kids. So I mean, I couldn't really.
Yeah, it's part of your journey, man.
Yeah.
I said part of your journey, part of who you are, and I think that's really a cool thing.
I've got a couple games. So we had the Notre Dame game in 2016. It was a hurricane game. I can't remember what hurricane was hitting, but we had that. And that dude is flexible. Flexibility. Hurricane game at Notre Dame. Clemson beat Notre Dame. That game in general was just unreal. Everybody's soaking wet. We really didn't do any stunts. We did a bunch, obviously, just cheers and no tumbling. So it was all really just like a fan, really just on the field. And then the first game I ever cheered was Georgia and Clemson when they came to Clemson and we beat them.
That was
incredible. It was the loudest game I've ever been at. That was the hypest game, but it was probably the best. So it's hard to compare to the rest. And I got to cheer national championship games. And then every game's different. So we're doing a different routine, a different stunt, a different series of everything every game. And so it was a lot of fun. I look back at pictures, and I have one I was going to send Daniel of my wife and I. We got married. I put her in a stunt at our I'll send it to Daniel, but on our wedding day, we were at the taking pictures, and I was like, well, let's put her up in a stunt. And so
that's awesome. That is awesome.
A lot of teamwork, though. It takes a lot of skill set between 2 people to make whatever happens, and much less when you put 12 or 15 or 20 of us together. It's fun. So
Daniel keeps freezing up. This is something that I'm gonna do one more ink blot because, and I don't know that sorry, Olga would necessarily have understood it, but maybe you will, Peyton. You might be too young. I don't know, but does this mean anything to you? This number 2 pencil?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I know it may look young, but we had those in school. We had the sharpener on the wall, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, we had it also. The smell of it, I can kind of sense the smell of it when you're sharpening it. Get a little different smell. Eraser,
And
great.
it was like, the bubbling in at the end of the year, the test time, and it had to be.
Yeah.
Remember, had to be number 2, and it couldn't be whatever, Faber-Castell or something, some kind of brand.
That is one of the coolest. Can you see that?
Wait a minute. Let me take this off here. Remove. Oh yeah. Oh, look at there. It's there. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
Isn't that a cool picture?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you want. That's different than what you typically see, and I think that's a cool one there.
That was awesome, though. I mean, the fact
my
that
back hurts.
And you're on that hill too. That could not have been easy.
Yeah, we were on a slant, but we did it, and I almost dropped her. I told her that afterwards. She kind of like wiggled away, and it was pretty close, but nobody knew that. Only I knew that. But yeah, it was pretty.
How long since graduation to the wedding? Since y'all had been cheerleading until the wedding?
She graduated in 17, and I graduated in 16, and then we got married in 17, just after she graduated. So I was out a year. So
okay.
I
So
was
you still had the skills.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We can still do that. We do. Every year we try and hit a certain stunt similar to that one. We try and hit like these 2 or 3 every year, and then we probably won't do them again for the rest of the year. And then next year it comes around, it's like summertime. We'll make sure we still do them, and then we just don't do them a lot. It makes you sore. Hurts.
Is it something you hope that y'all's daughter will do?
Yeah, she does. She does a little bit of. She's getting more into wanting to do. We're going to put her in gymnastics, so we're getting there. We're going down that road.
Yeah.
So
got only number 2. Yes.
Yes.
It's so true. I just remember being panicked about those number 2 pencils.
It's a commodity. You could trade pretty much somebody's life for that. You
I used to love getting those number 2 pencils and sharpening that. Like when you've got some good pencils that are sharpened with a nice new eraser and a blank sheet of paper, something good is getting ready to happen.
What about like when you started with like a bunch and you try to see how long one would last, right?
Get down to this,
Oh, yeah.
When you said that about going up and sharpening your pencil, really that was the way we'd show off. If we looked cute, we're like, I'm going to go sharpen my pencil.
Oh, my God.
Seriously, Daniel. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
There's always a method to that madness, okay?
Now, I do remember Julie Bobo going to sharpen her pencil.
Oh, good.
I don't know if I should have said that out loud.
I don't know. She might not be watching, but I'll find out.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, Daniel. Good memory.
That was a great memory.
Sharp as attack, that one.
Yeah. Oh, boy. All right. You got another one for us, Jenny.
Okay, I'll give you one more then.
Yeah.
Wait, give me 1 second here. Okay.
Let's see where Jenny's mind went.
No, my mind just goes all over, obviously all over the place.
Just like that hat, everywhere.
Everywhere. Yep.
Packing.
Oh, boy.
But I mean, what is it? What do you feel?
We moved. I used to work for a moving company, and so the story's funny, kind of a funny story. In college, she made some money before we went back to college, and I didn't have any time when I was cheering. So during the summer, we'd move all these different people in Columbia and Greenville, and we moved. The company was young, and they were willing to move pretty much anything within reason. And somebody had a baby grand piano, and we were not those type of movers, but we would come in, box everything up, put them on the box truck. We'd store them.
Wow.
We'd unload them. We'd take them out and put them on the shelves and let you organize it, like take them out of the box. So we did pretty much everything. But this one baby grand piano, somebody said, well, it's like, I think 3 or 4 guys, all in college, like you can pick it up. And we get over there, and we had to go up 1 step. It might've been that tall. And I thought we had to put it above our heads. It was so heavy. I mean, it was like the most unreal thing. And
so expensive that you're handling it.
I was like, you got a bunch of 18 to 20-year-olds just picking this thing up. Like, okay, if you want, but so.
Wow.
Well, that can be stressful. So way back in the day, I worked for a rent-to-own company, and you can imagine some of the moves that, people will rent their entire situation. It'll be on the 5th floor of an apartment building, no elevator. That's some stressful stuff. That is like, you've got somebody that they're not giving you this stuff back. Typically, you're taking it. So it's like a difficult environment. And then you're working together, trying to get it quick because it's uncomfortable and embarrassing. And that was a tough job. So it sounds like y'all probably had a little more fun.
Y'all went to a completely different place, but that's so cool because it's like I never would have known, hey Peyton, that you work for a moving company. You know, this just makes me literally think about moving and the stress of it, and what do you keep and what do you take, and you know.
So Peyton, let's before we close out here, let's talk a little bit about building your personal brand, maybe some ideas that you've got on things that you can do to expand your business and brainstorm a little bit. Is there anything on your mind that you thought, man, if I just did this, or if I could create something that does this, that would be great? Is there anything that you've been kind of brainstorming about?
Yeah, I mean, I got 1,000 thoughts, but the brand, quote unquote, brand is outside the box. It's just something I threw together, overthinking it through, but it's something, brainstorming. I guess like two things. What I would have done 5 years ago is, if I was in this industry, which I was, and I knew this was going to be the path long term, like I would have created a bunch of content consistently. You just need consistent marketing. If it's once a month, once every other week, whatever, just be consistent. I've not been at times, but everybody's got their faults. So being consistent, starting something a long time ago, and just maybe it's videos, maybe it's PDFs and graphics, maybe whatever, just do something that builds a long-term brand that you can then rely on, and you can mold that in several things. And then kind of some things I'm brainstorming as a buddy and I, a lot of the clients I work with are small business owners, like I said before. And so I'm not meeting with the people who are, and it's not like I don't have retirees or families or individuals. I mean, you have a little bit of everything, but who I primarily work day to day with is business owners. And so, like I'm going to have a great example. I have a guy that wants to, he's 28, like wants to come sit down and I'll talk. That's fine. But we're probably not in a position to help you. Like, it's just not a good fit for you and for me. And so a buddy and I have talked about doing like a branded YouTube channel, something, monetizing it. I mentioned that earlier backstage, but and interviewing people and be like, okay, we're going to monetize this. So we're going to give you our time, but ultimately long-term to make money through YouTube or other platforms. And so let's go through like kind of like a small financial plan with you and just coach you along what we think. And my buddy's not in finance. He's just smart guy, really wants to see people succeed, and is very, very, very good with relationships. So he was like, well, let me help you because I have these people and I know a little bit about personal finance, and he's very smart with that. So that's something we're brainstorming. Like, would it be a product people would like to see that's not Dave Ramsey and that's not these other guys that are out there? It's kind of the mix in between. So we're brainstorming that right now. With that, we need to be consistent. We need to be a brand. It need to be something that's, got a theme to it and got a string everybody can identify with. And like, when I see it, I know what this is about. That's the biggest thing. That
it could be the average financial advisor.
It is.
The average is taken.
It's not Dave Ramsey. It's not Ormond. It's every man's.
Yeah. What I like there, Peyton, is this idea of kind of pulling back the curtain on what happens in a financial. If I go meet with a financial advisor, how's that conversation going to go? And sometimes maybe it's the fear or trepidation, but if you had kind of an average dude, as Jenny was saying, and you kind of pull back the curtain, and he's kind of, everybody kind of watches him, but he's, there's commonalities between the people watching and the person that's actually going through it. That could be interesting,
It could be. And you know what? I know we got to go, but Peyton, you're on to something here. If y'all also, to me, it's when you're transparent, because it's kind of like that social anxiety. We already sometimes, we don't know about financial things and we feel dumb as it is. But if you go on and y'all do this thing, it's like, okay, I know that you probably did this. And you're like, why did I do that? You know what? You're not stupid for doing it, but this is where you go forward. Talking to people as real people, you know what I mean? Not as, when we watch it and you go, oh, well, you know what? They already all had it all together anyway.
Right. No, most people don't. Most people don't have it together. Most people are, quick example, two business owners sat down, both of them, husband and wife, doing phenomenal. They don't have a plan. They're just running their business and it's doing really well, but they don't have an exit plan. That's what a business owner typically does: exit, sell it, and exit. They got to have some kind of plan. They know they want to end date. They have a certain time frame they want to end it. And so a lot of times we're just doing good at what we do. So let's just do it. And then we don't really know the expertise or the outside the box concepts or just all this other stuff that really mucks down the thinking and it slows down the business. So if the business is good, partner with somebody who's also good at helping you structure everything to maximize it, to, you know, tax deductions, to help you think through, like, should you be charging fair market rate for yourself to stay there? Because then when you sell it, somebody's going to want to see a history of what it's been charged. So, like, just thinking through small things with a business owner.
Yes, you could do this easily, Peyton.
Anybody. Right.
You need to monetize that because I've been in business for 20 years. Exit plan, you don't think about that. You know why? Because you're on that steady treadmill of it's going okay. But so what? You're never going to stop, you know?
Right.
Oh, so smart.
And you may not, maybe you don't, right? But maybe you start selling, you know, rubber duckies instead of selling, you know, knickknacks. Who knows what it is, right? Maybe it changes, but you got to get out of one to get to the other. So got a plan.
True. That's great. Yeah. That's a great idea. Great.
Yep.
Peyton, thanks for joining us today.
Yes.
Thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Yeah. Hey, and I will see you. I'm going out of town, so I'll see you. It's going to be at least a week before I see you out of that. So.
All right.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Later.
Thank y'all.
Bye.
And that's it.